You see them everywhere, right? The city bus, the school bus, they're just part of our daily commute. But let's be honest, driving around these giants involves a whole set of rules and, yeah, hidden dangers that most of us just don't think about. So today, we're going to change that. We're making all of it visible.
And it all kicks off with this really fascinating paradox. How is it possible that one of the safest ways for passengers to get around can create so many unique, hidden dangers for everyone else on the road? That's the big question we're going to dig into and answer right now.
So to really get to the bottom of that paradox, we have to try and see the road from the bus driver's point of view. And believe me, from their seat, the single biggest danger is what they can't see. That's why we're calling this section the invisible giant.
Look, you can forget the term blind spots. That doesn't even come close. A bus is surrounded by a massive invisible zone where a whole car, not to mention a cyclist or pedestrian, can just completely disappear. The golden rule to remember is this: if you can't see the bus driver's face in their mirror, there is absolutely, positively no way they can see you.
So where are these huge invisible zones? Well, they're directly in front of the bus, right up against the bumper. They're along the driver's side, just past their door. The entire passenger side is basically a no-go zone, especially towards the back. And of course, for several feet directly behind the bus. If you hang out in any of these 4 spots, you are, for all intents and purposes, invisible.
And it's not just about being invisible. There are other hazards you have to watch out for. When a bus makes a tight turn, its rear end can actually swing out into the next lane. We call it the swinging rear end, and it catches people by surprise all the time. They also make constant, sudden stops. If you're tailgating, a rear-end collision is pretty much guaranteed. And finally, keep an eye on the passengers. People getting off the bus can sometimes dart right out into traffic without looking.
Okay, so now that we're all sufficiently aware of the dangers, what do we actually do about it? Let's build our safety playbook. These are the clear, simple things you can do to make sure you're sharing the roads safely.
First things first, you have to learn to speak the language of the bus, and that means understanding its lights. Flashing yellow lights? That's your heads up. It means the bus is about to stop. This is your signal to slow down and get ready, not to punch the gas and try to pass. But flashing red lights? That's not a suggestion, it's a command. The bus is stopped, you stop. End of story.
So, how much space do you need to leave behind a bus? You want to give yourself a minimum of 3 to 4 seconds of following distance. Count it out. That's your buffer zone for their sudden stops. And if the weather's bad, you better double it. And that need for space isn't just about what's in front of you. It applies to the sides, too. When you're passing, give them at least 3 to 4 feet of space. That keeps you clear of their blind spots and that swinging rear end we talked about. And whatever you do, never, ever try to squeeze between a turning bus and the curb. Just don't. Let's talk about lanes and merges, which really comes down to one word: patience. By law, you have to yield to a bus that's signaling to pull back into traffic, so you gotta fight that urge to just speed past. And those bus lanes? Pay close attention to the signs. You can usually pop in for a quick turn, but if you try to use it as your own personal express lane, well, chances are there's an automated camera just waiting to send you a ticket.
All right, now we need to shift gears and talk about something where the stakes are as high as they possibly get: school buses. When you see that yellow bus, the rules aren't just suggestions. They are completely 100% non-negotiable. And the reason for these ironclad rules really comes down to one simple, powerful fact. Kids are unpredictable. Your impatience, your need to get somewhere 30 seconds faster, it's just not worth it. Rushing around a school bus puts children's lives directly at risk. They can dart out from anywhere without a second thought. So what exactly are the rules for stopping? Let's break it down. If you're on a 2-lane road, all traffic in both directions has to stop, no exceptions. Same goes for a multi-lane road if there's no physical barrier down the middle. All traffic, both ways, stops. The only time it changes is on a divided highway with a real barrier, like a concrete median. In that case, only the traffic traveling in the same direction behind the bus has to stop. And when you do stop, don't crowd the bus. You need to stay back. We're talking at least 20 to 30 feet. That space isn't just for you. It creates a critical safety zone for kids who might be crossing the road.
Okay, so let's circle all the way back to that paradox from the beginning. If buses present all these challenges on the outside, why are they basically a safety vault for the people who are actually riding inside? Well, the answer isn't just one thing. It's a whole ecosystem of safety.
You start with just pure physics. Their enormous size and weight provide incredible protection in a crash. Then you layer on top of that highly trained professional drivers, super strict government safety regulations, and a ton of advanced safety systems.
And when we say professional drivers, we really mean it. These folks hold a commercial driver's license, or CDL. This isn't your standard driver's test. It requires way more training and rigorous testing on everything from air brakes to passenger management. They are certified pros.
So as we start to wrap this up, it becomes pretty obvious that sharing the road with a bus isn't just about following a few rules so you don't get a ticket. It's really about something much, much bigger. It's about a shared responsibility.
All of this leaves us with a final thought. Now that you know about the invisible zones, the special signals, and the life or death rules for school buses, the question isn't just, how do I follow the law? It's, how do we choose to act? How do we expand our personal responsibility beyond just avoiding a fine and turn it into an act of collective vigilance and courtesy for everyone else out there on the road?
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.